And we're back. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
You know, we're doing a segment about Scott Zolak, and Zolak texted me yesterday, and Dan Roach's social media accounts have been hacked. And not by anything terrible.
No, but he's not the only one.
Yeah, it says, I don't usually post things like this, but it's only fair to give credit to my coach. Yesterday I made a withdrawal from my crypto profits. So it's a whole crypto thing. And then it shows that he bought a sweet car with his crypto products. He bought a Bentley, actually.
Yeah.
Dan. And no better way to achieve wealth and generational wealth than cryptocurrency, unless you are, especially if you are somehow related to the president. But nonetheless, so Scott was sending that to me. And how did this happen to them? There was some kind of...
There was a DM. I got one too. One of these DMs.
Yeah.
That from somebody that you know, asking for support on something, asking you to vote on something.
Yep.
And if you click on that, it's from Dan Roach. Hey, hope you're well. I'm currently standing for a small committee role that involves contributing to decisions and direction. It's gone to a public vote, so I'd appreciate your support if you're able. And then this weird link. And I guess if you click on that link, you're in trouble.
Yeah, so, and I bet you it's not only just clicking on the link, is that you have to put information in and stuff, which Dan gladly did.
Anything to help a friend running for a committee position. Sounds important.
A committee position that I'm not telling you what it is, nor am I going to tell you these important things that we're voting on.
Also from somebody that would normally just text or call me, but they sent me a Twitter DM. Absolutely.
These things could easily be ignored, but instead he's like, yeah.
Happy to help.
Sure thing. What do you need from me, pal? So now he's in this crypto hell.
Yeah.
All right. But Scott did send those to me, and Scott's an interesting guy. Hardy, a big, I would say, go so far as to say viral moment was when you and I sat in at the beginning of the midday show when they were both going to be late, and you did your impression of Scott Zolak.
Yes.
A lot of people felt it was dead on, and it is dead on because you absorbed so much of him over the years that you were on the radio with him.
Yeah, and
a real frustration.
It's can I say love-hate?
Sure.
Okay.
Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. But the more time you spend with Zoe, and I'm not the only one who's picked up on this, the more you realize he starts to sound like other people. And there's one person in particular that we thought he really, really does sound like from time to time, and that is the John C. Reilly character known as Dr. Steve Brule.
Specialist.
Yes.
Okay, so can you give us an example of something Scott did? Just you do it. You as Scott. Something that you remember from the show where Scott was, it could be anything, acting very much like himself. There was the Honey Pot Hill situation, but I'm thinking more of a distracted Scott.
Okay, so here is...
or throw up.
No, the throw up one, when they were doing the $1 Filet-O-Fish sandwiches. And Zoe, we got delivered a bunch of them. Now, Zoe was not feeling well that day. So... he had thrown up on the way to work. This is something that he has done from time to time. He pulls over on the side of the road and has to throw up. He throws up more than any person over the age of 3 I've ever known in my life. It's vomit all the time with the vomiting, okay? So we get delivered one of these sacks, like when you have like 4 value meals from McDonald's and they'll put it in that big bag, and it's just packed with Filet-O-Fish sandwiches. Zoe's already under the weather, but the Filet-O-Fish shows up and he can't help himself. So he eats a Filet-O-Fish sandwich. 5 minutes later, he's up. This is at the station in Brighton, goes to the bathroom and throws it up. What does he do? Comes back into the studio and eats another Filet-O-Fish sandwich. This repeats 3 times during the 4-hour show.
Oh, man.
So he ate 4 Filet-O-Fish sandwiches and threw up 4 times.
What did it sound like? Not the throw up, but like what was he saying when he was trying to go for like the second Filet-O-Fish after he had already thrown up?
I'm good. I'm hungry again. Oh,
but you threw up.
No, they're better when they cool down a little bit because the cheese kind of gets a little bit, a little harder to get into it.
Wait, first of all, there's cheese on Filet-O-Fish sandwiches. It's
Apparently.
fish with cheese on it.
I didn't know that.
Oh, that's really gross. All right. So anyway, so
that is I think that is the quintessential Zolak / Brule moment. That's something I would see Steve Brule doing. Oh, they're so good. I just got to keep eating them. Despite the fact that you almost immediately vomit it up and then you just eat another one.
Well, when he goes to the Marinara, otherwise known as the Marina, he goes to the seafood restaurant, but he sees that that seafood is too expensive. Yeah. So luckily his brother works at a restaurant and told him about the dumpster outside. So he eats food from the dumpster, and he does get sick.
Bringo!
Yeah, when he opens up the dumpster, that's what he says. He goes, Bringo!
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, he goes to the Marinara.
But lest you think we're pushing this, let's give you an example. Let's give you 2 examples here of Steve Brule swapped out with Scott Zolak and Scott Zolak swapped out with Steve Brule. First, from the Zolak and Bertrand show, this is Bertrand and Brule.
If Mexico wins and scores 4 or fewer runs, Team USA is eliminated.
I know.
Okay.
A Mexico win while scoring 5 or more runs ensures the USA will go forward. That's how I'm reading it.
Oh, I got you.
But here are the tiebreakers, which are absolutely nuts. Fewest runs allowed divided by the number of defensive outs recorded between the teams that are tied.
Right. Who even cares about this stupid show?
The second one is...
I don't care.
The second one is...
Want to smell my finger?
Wait, one more time?
Smells like my rear.
Oh. Milliken would throw up if you heard that. Yeah.
Okay, so there is.
Yeah, I mean, that's
close.
nice.
Yeah.
But what about? I mean, would Zoe fit in perfectly as Dr. Steve Brule on the Dr. Steve Brule show? Again, the brilliant John C. Reilly character. Could you just put Zolak in and have him speak when Dr. Steve Brule would speak?
Let me ask you some questions, okay? And see if you're depressed.
Why? Look at that, though. We got a nice stretch of sun.
Okay.
This is on the segment called Doctor to Doctor.
Right.
Okay.
You consider yourself a sad person.
That sucks. Monday comes, like, sucks. Start looking at your map at what time? 5:36? Oh.
And maybe lost interest in things you used to enjoy doing?
Yeah, take Lionel Richie away from the Commodores. They weren't the same. Yeah.
And what about libido? Is your libido diminished at all?
I've got a pillow over my head. I'm going to go down and get some laundry out of wash, and there's certain pairs of underwear you don't want to find with some locks and belts attached to it.
If a patient was telling me that, I'd say
What do you do? Sexual freaks.
there's showing some signs of depression, lack of energy.
It's not even worth getting your car washed. I haven't washed a car in like 5 months.
But, there's hope for it. It's very important that you realize that if you're depressed, you can go on medication, you can see a therapist, that this is not...
It's like seeing Bon Jovi without John Bon Jovi. And some guy faking his life.
Doctor, this is not something that you should feel...
The Pineda Kid, he's good. He's good. But he's not Steve Perry.
So there you go.
They do fit in with one another very, very well.
Interchangeably.
Still ponies!
Hot dogs, corn dogs.
Hey, what's going on? It's Zoe.
I guess Cynthia Dangus.
I had so much done, like, in life, and you weren't even born yet.
So this is where I'm going to read to you a statement that was either uttered by Dr. Steve Brule or Scott Zolak. You have to decide whether it is Zolak or Brule.
Okay, John, you're going to have to play this because I'm going to know all the Brule ones.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
So again, just the statement read aloud.
Sure.
Just Scott Zolak or Steve Brule. You ready?
Yep.
Latch on to the nipple and don't let go. Just give them the nipple. Is that Zolak or Brule?
I'll say Zolak.
Oh, John. Here we go.
What context is that in?
They latch to the nipple, and sometimes that becomes a tough thing to do for a couple days. We're the nipple that you need, boy. Latch on and just don't let go. Our daughter had a problem with her throat, and she was on Alimentum, and she just kept like violently vomiting. Just annoyance about her, and he would always just tell us to give her the nipple.
So there you go. Very
All
good,
right.
John. You're 1 for 1.
Okay.
Like taking candy from a baby. Give me the candy, baby. Then they cry.
That's Steve Brule.
Oh, John.
No, that's not Steve Brule.
That's like taking candy from a baby, you know? Give me the candy, baby. Baby's gonna give me the candy and cry.
Okay.
Do you know the context of that?
No.
Does he need to have one?
How many times during that show did he say something that, like, how many times a week did he say something, like, that was so out of nowhere?
Every day. Every single day.
Now, would you guys just barrel through?
Yes.
Or would
You're how Bertrand treats them.
Seriously, but Mark's still doing it today. Doesn't matter. Mark just keeps going.
Just keep going.
Just knowing Hardy's personality, if someone throws a non sequitur, he could really latch onto that.
Well, I can imagine Hardy's head exploding 5 days a week trying to put this in context.
All depends on how a foul eye wanted to run a Beetle that day. Because if you indulge it, then it's gone, and you've lost this segment.
Okay.
How about this one, John? Don't let turkeys get you down. You have to fly like an eagle. Don't be a turkey.
Steve Brule.
Very, very good.
Don't let the turkeys get you down. You gotta fly like an eagle, not be like a turkey.
The strange episode that everyone thought was the last episode, but they did one more season where Steve is very depressed, goes to the ice cream truck and sees himself playing saxophone on the street. And gets some advice from himself as a saxophone player on the street. I thought that was going to be the last episode ever, but they came back for one more season.
They got kind of meta. All this talk about chips is making me hungry. Give me some chips.
Oh, that's Zolak. No?
That's Steve Brule.
Oh, wow.
Well, all this talk about chips is making me hungry. Dang, give me some chips.
I think they were talking about computers. In that one.
You can understand my mistake. That very much sounds like something Zoe would say.
It's not supposed to be an easy contest.
It isn't
Jonathan.
so
It's supposed
far.
to be a little difficult.
2 and 2 so far.
I'd like to thank Nicholas for this one, which is labeled Mercury, Murcury.
That was my fault.
Oh, look at that.
Look at Ryan being a leader.
You ever eat mercury? They tell you don't do it, but you break the thermometer. Doesn't do anything to you.
Well,
It could be either one.
That's the point of the exercise, Jonathan.
I will say, I want it to be Zolak, but I will say Steve Brule.
that's Zolak.
That is Scott Zolak, 100%.
You
That's
ever eat
Scott
mercury?
Zolak.
They tell you don't do it, but just like ate it. Perk a thermometer. Didn't do anything to you.
Because we all had that happen, multiple times, well into adulthood. You put the thermometer under your tongue,
Right.
and then you start chomping down on it, and you just eat it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, or something breaks, and then the little pebbles like fall out, because mercury turns into that like metal.
Yeah.
And then you got to lick it up.
Sure.
I mean, if something falls out of something, it has to be consumed through your mouth. I mean, everyone knows that.
You ever eat mercury? They tell you don't do it, but just like ate it. Perk a thermometer. Didn't do anything to you.
Just eat the mercury, you turkey. You're not going to get into space. You're not going to get on a space shuttle. Just eat mercury. It's in a thermometer, and that's from space.
All right, John, you got to get off the schneid here.
Yeah.
Do monkeys have ribs? They're so smart, but they have diapers on. You can't teach... Start over. Do monkeys have ribs? They're so smart, but they have diapers on. You can't teach them to crap on the toilet.
I'll say Steve Brule.
That's Scott.
Oh, my God.
Steve Brule would never go into that kind of detail.
Oh.
You ever wish you were a monkey yourself?
Did the monkeys have ribs?
What's his deal with the mic? It's really so.
What?
The
monkeys have ribs? Hold on, I got to think about this. If I were a monkey, would I still have ribs? I got to have ribs. I don't know. Stupid thing. Get here and fix it. Where's Knudsen? Oh, that was boat. Stupid boat. Sup, Milliken? That's not him. He left. Do his popcast. Baseball. Loser.
You ever wish you were a monkey yourself?
Did the monkeys have ribs? They're less ribs? No. Why'd you ask that?
You know, maybe reincarnation, that you come back as a monkey in your next life.
They're so smart, but yet they have to have diapers on. You can't teach them to crap on the toilet?
Can't teach crap on the toilet. Monkey's never going to be a doctor.
Come on, John. Bring it on here. Two more.
Right. 2 more. All right.
What are you going to do if you get ants in your ice cream? You're going to eat the ants because they're made of protein.
Steve Brule.
That is Steve Brule.
What the heck are you going to do if you're on a picnic and having ice cream and the ants crawl on the ice cream? What are you going to do? You're going to eat the ants because it's made out of protein.
You dummy.
All right, final one. See if you can end on a winner here, John. Everything gives you cancer.
That's Zolak.
Very well done.
Lunchables cancer thing, wasn't there?
Everything gives you cancer.
Lunchables were, man.
I like the pizza ones.
There you go.
There you go. There should really be a warning on the Lunchables because that's what's going to...
Really? Oh, he called into the National?
Yeah, Andy, well, loosely. Yes, it is available to everyone. Andy's on for like 6 hours on Saturdays on the Mad Dog channel, and he had Scott on. They were talking about the Lomu, I believe. That was what they were discussing. All right, we will be back in just a moment. Our friend Tom Caron comes on the show.
IYKYK, which obviously YD. Okay?
Toucher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Hub.
You know, I thought our starters, we had some good starts and threw the ball well, so there's still a lot of things we're doing well. And I think the middle games of this, like, it's no secret. We just got to get the bats going consistently again, kind of like we had them going at the second half of May, and hopefully it turns.
Yesterday, I watched a lot of the Red Sox game. I was a very good sports person. And then in satellite radio, they have all the teams. It's kind of cool. They have all the teams in their play-by-play, like by the team. Mm-hmm. So obviously I have the Cardinals as my favorite. But I hit the Cardinals, and the team right next to the Cardinals was Tampa Bay. So when I was in the car, I heard the Tampa Bay call of the 8th and 9th inning. And they were not too big on the relievers. Tampa Bay was rolling out there yesterday. Tom Caron is the studio host and broadcaster announcer for NESN. He's the studio host and broadcast announcer for NESN. Tom Caron, hello, sir.
Good morning, guys. How we doing?
We are doing well. A bit of a historical day at the Trop yesterday. Hooray.
That was the beauty of baseball. You never know what you're going to see, and you could have been watching this game for the last 100 years, and you've never seen the first 3 batters strike out each of their first 3 plate appearances. But we got to see that yesterday.
Yeah, and you'll always remember where you were when you saw this first 3 batters in a lineup strike out in their first 3 plate appearances.
At least, if nothing else, Tom, it's content for the post game, right?
It did give us something to talk about. The top 6 hitters in the lineup over the 3 games against Tampa Bay hit a combined 119 with a 179 slugging percentage. They struck out 22 times while getting 8 hits and 2 walks. That's 2/3 of your lineup. I've been doing this forever. I've never seen a lineup, and there's a lot of reasons why. Obviously, they've tried to do what they can to give Chad Tracy credit. You know, he tried to ride Mickey Gasper for a couple of weeks, and Nick Sogard, who's on the IL now. But I mean, these are good complementary players. They're not guys who should be batting 2nd or 5th or 6th in a lineup. And that's where you are. And, you know, I mean, their offense is down since they fired Alex Cora. They're scoring fewer runs a game than they were before they fired him. So I don't know how you get out of this, because there's nobody, you know, sitting in a stall in that clubhouse who's going to come out here and turn this around.
The other part of this is there seems to be a disconnect on injuries. I mean, I saw a report from Tim Healy yesterday where he spoke to Garrett Crochet, and Crochet said there had been a setback. His lat injury is worse than originally thought. he's not coming back anytime soon. So then the prudent thing to do is to go to Craig Breslow and get a quote from him. And Breslow's like, I'm not aware of that. We're just going to try and get him to play catch on Thursday. It just seems that, from the roster construction to the manager to the fundamentals and inability, I've never seen this team so disconnected. And I, like you, sat through the Bobby Valentine year as well.
And I thought we would, we had there were 11 games under 500 the other day for the first time since the COVID year. And now you start talking about, you start comparing this season to 2020 and to 2012 under Bobby Valentine, and you thought you'd never have to revisit those seasons. Yeah, that's the second, at least seeming disagreement on an injury to a major player, right? The Anthony thing, where, again, it might be semantics that a strain is a partial tear, whatever the case, but it certainly seemed like Roman Anthony was going out of his way to make it clear he didn't agree with what was being said about his wrist and his ligament and his finger. And then yesterday, when you get, Crochet saying a lot worse than what we thought. No idea when he's going to throw. And then Breslow telling Chris Smith, good progress, nothing new. Tracy afterwards, we're good with him progressing. We'll get him tested in a couple of days. That's a major, I said this when they first talked about Anthony, and there was kind of a quick push to get everybody thinking this would be really short. Remember that? Maybe we won't even put him on the IL. And I just don't ever understand why you would ever sort of set an unrealistic expectation on a guy's return, because there's nothing good comes to that. If he comes back in those 10 days, then fine. But if he doesn't, now you're going to create a situation like this, or you're going to have fans saying the player's soft because he didn't get back in time. They got to clean that up, because that is, you fool me once, blame on you, twice blame me, whatever it is. It's just you can't have players sort of walking around contradicting what you are saying about an injury. It's not a good look.
Okay, so I don't know anything, but I had someone tell me, and so you would know, you would know more than them, that the team is a little annoyed with Roman Anthony and maybe think that he could be pushing things a little bit more than he is, which surprised me.
Organization or players?
The organization.
Yeah. I don't know that, but I've gotten that vibe. I have. They progressed him to the point of, facing soft toss, whatever it was, and they had to shut it down. And I think, again, they seem to believe that would just be a few days before he got it going again, and now he's, again, hasn't been even swinging a bat for dry swing since then. So, I think, their expectation, and again, John, you start talking about comparing things. I covered J.D. Drew, and J.D. Drew was a guy that, you were always frustrated with because you thought he was good enough to play, but J.D. Drew was a guy, again, I'm careful in baseball. Some guys, you think they're soft, and it might not be that they're soft. It's just that if they feel discomfort, they don't think they can play to their potential. The guys like Johnny Damon who would play with one leg if the other leg was fractured in three places. So
I get that with pitchers.
I don't know Roman Anthony well enough to know what his mindset is, but I think you're right. I think they believe he should be progressing quicker than he is.
Tom, I get the thing with pitchers. Like, if you're a pitcher and you feel discomfort, that could be your career. Your body, you are going to hurt your arm, like you are, and it's just a matter of trying to mitigate that and hold it off for as long as possible. And no one really knows how to do that. They have ideas, but no one's definitively knows how to do that. With positional players, it seems like a little different, at least to me.
Yeah, the only thing about hands and wrists for hitters is there were things. Remember, Devers had a wrist thing for a long time, and it would always get worse when he checked a swing. It was on a weird ending to a swing, or if he fouled off a certain way, it'd mess up his wrist. So some guys just, it's all the progression. And I think in Roman Anthony's case, he felt something, in a very controlled environment, not even facing a fastball. If you feel that, you're not going to be able to go up against a guy throwing 97. I think that's his mindset.
Okay. You talk about Breslow, and there was a rumor that Carabas said that he heard that Breslow might get fired, and then the team said that's absolutely not happening. and they still say they want a right-handed bat. When is the right-handed bat stuff going to stop? And they're going to go, we're not a right-handed bat away from anything.
Listen, because of a schedule quirk, I ended up in New York sidelines on Friday. You know, they won that game 5-3, a couple home runs. And I remember coming home thinking, like, all right, this could be the road trip where things turn. Instead, might be the road trip where the reality set in. You know, the whole illusion of contention in the wild card race. They're 5.5 now. You know, it's not 2.5 or 3 like we were saying a week ago. 5.5 with everybody ahead of you except the Angels. So you got to leapfrog everybody.
And
so you pulling out
can only get the third wild card. That has to be, you know, every team in the AL. If you say 5.5 is not that far away, well, every team in the AL is in that boat, and you're only really competing for the third wild card spot because you're never catching the first wild card spot, and the chances of getting the second wild card spot are really, really small too, because that's when it gets.
That's a good point, because you talk about the 5.5, and it's 8 to the second wild card,
right? Which is
whatever it is. So it's 16 to the first, whatever that is.
Right.
So, yeah, you're one of 12 teams trying to get one playoff spot, and you're behind them all. And so the reality, and so you start thinking yesterday, like, somebody said at this point it'll be criminal if Aroldis Chapman is on this team in August. Like, that's a guy who's, you got to, I mean, we were talking about a right-handed bat a week ago. I don't know how you're not now thinking about who you trade off and what you get for them. And again, I've said this a million times this season. You are a good 10-day stretch away from changing that narrative, but we haven't had a good 10-day stretch yet this season. And we've played 65 games. So, I mean, there hasn't been one. There hasn't been a really good 10-game stretch yet this season. I think they've had a couple 6-4 runs. You haven't had a 7-3 yet, and you need 2 of those to even start moving back in the right direction.
Well, you need like a.
So to your right-handed bat, I don't. I mean, are you going to mortgage your future, take a bad contract, do all that right now? I don't see how you do that.
Yeah, you need like a 12, 15-game road trip in order to have a good 10-game stretch for the Red Sox right now.
Because you can't win at home.
That's right. It's never going to happen in Fenway.
Incredible thing.
Yeah.
Right. And they've got a big stretch at home coming up, but they got the West Coast. I mean, they got 4 with the Yankees at Fenway on the next homestand, not this coming one. It's just nothing right. And, but you got over a month till the trade deadline, right? So nothing's going to happen. I don't, the right-hand bat stuff I think was real and probably still is real, but every day goes by, you're less likely to add to this team.
Yeah, the Chapman, conversation is an obvious one, but the one that's getting a lot of noise is front office stuff before the trade deadline. What do you think could or might happen regarding certain positions there, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, because the thing you talked about, are they going to fire Breslow? Like, I don't, what would changing the general manager or the president of baseball operations, what would that change right now, right? It wouldn't change much. A new guy can't come in and make 7 trades and make this team a different team. You can't do that midstream. But if you are deciding that you're going to change direction there, are you going to let a guy you're no longer enamored with make your decisions at the trade deadline? Now, you go back to 2019, and it was around that time when they decided they were going to move. I don't know if they decided they were going to move on from Dombrowski, but they clipped his wings at the trade deadline. They didn't make any moves that year, after winning the championship in 2018. He wanted to go out and add to that team. They didn't let him. So you don't necessarily have to make a move if you're making the move. You don't have to do it before the trade deadline because you can just tell the guy what he can and can't do if that's where you are. And with the lockout looming, I think that does change some of the normal timeline for some of these decisions. So I don't know that if Craig Breslow is still the chief baseball officer on August 4th, I don't know if that means he survived the whole thing because he got to the trade deadline because, again, ownership, and we heard reports this week that ownership was involved in conversations about looking for a right-handed bat. So I think you can still manage what a baseball executive does, even if you keep him in office. So I don't see any reason to do it sooner rather than later. But the way they're playing, maybe you do that as a public relations move and just to make a statement. I don't know.
Tom, by all accounts, this driveline way of doing things offensively has really blown up in their faces. But this is only the first year that they've kind of implemented all of this. How stubborn do you think the guys in charge will be to continue this despite the empirical data that says it is a colossal failure?
Yeah, it's a really good question, John. The thing about driveline, and we use it right now as sort of the term to encompass all that is evil with the Red Sox, right? And that's not fair. But I do think you're getting this. You get more and more stories and information that it's kind of a one way for everyone, and that doesn't work. There isn't one way to do it. And you watch Tampa Bay, right? And the one thing that I came away with this series and the last time I watched them play the Red Sox, Tampa Bay's always kind of been on the cutting edge of analytics. They've had to maximize their small budget and their small market and no attendance. And you watch them now, and their cutting edge theories have come full circle. They bunt. They move a guy along. They steal bases. Like, they're doing old school baseball things. And talking to Tampa Bay people, you hear them talk about how they're pushing game planning, game awareness. In other words,
baseball.
In other words, playing to win.
Wow.
Baseball.
Yeah, they're learning how to play baseball.
Doing what your eyes tell you. Yeah.
Imagine that. So what I do think driveline does is develop young hitters. I think it's good at that. I think it's turned a lot of, it increases bat speed. It does a lot of good things. What it doesn't do is turn these guys into players who have good game situational awareness. And I think that's the failure of this organization right now at the major league level. You need players who are better equipped to do the little things necessary to win a baseball game, not to improve their individual skills. And they've got to figure that out.
Right. What's interesting the most to me about the driveline thing, whatever its role is that there's this institutional arrogance about that it is the right way.
That's why people are taking great joy at piling on right now.
But what's funny is if they keep insisting that, because you'll go, well, your offense is horrible, and that's maybe theoretically this is all working out, but in practice, this is the team that you've assembled and the way that you've decided to do things, and it's decidedly not working. It's not like you're scoring 10 runs a game but giving up 15. Your pitching's been okay. You have no offense. It's not working.
That's right.
You do something else.
And I think that was a big, I don't know about a big part, but obviously it was a factor in firing the coaches in Cora. And, I think the belief was, all right, we're going to go all in on this theory and make sure there's no hesitancy at the major league level from the coaches or the manager to implement it in the middle of a game. And it's still not working. Like I said, they're scoring fewer runs than they were. Now, they don't have Anthony, they don't have Story, the two of the guys who are supposed to be better hitters in this lineup. But I think there's no doubt that, you watch yesterday, Rasmussen is a good pitcher. Mm-hmm. He's not a great pitcher, even though the numbers are really good, but he's not a guy who strikes out 13 in a game. I think his career high was 9. I think he struck out a side once in his career, and that was 4 or 5 years ago, and he did it 3 times yesterday. And so you're just expanding, and they look lost at the plate right now. And the toughest part is I just don't see an easy or quick way out of this.
No, it's something else. It's not a good.
But you'll
team.
see history. But you get to see history once in a while.
Baby, I saw it with my own eyes. I was a little upset when the no-hitter got broken up a little earlier than I thought. But what were you going to do? Tom Caron, watch him on NESN. He's the best. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, we appreciate it. We'll be right back. Here are the headlines. Big show on the way.
Need little help getting started in the morning?
It's very dangerous.
They've got the experts.
So, no.
Toucher and Hardy.
No.
On the Sports Hub.
We've found out that Nick gets up in the middle of the night. He doesn't even get up. He sleepwalks in the middle of the night, and he eats downstairs, and then he gets back up into bed. We talked to his wife, Brittany, yesterday, and she was talking about how none of them have ever been concerned about this. How it just seems like a fun thing that happens, that Nick, goes and nocturnally does things that he doesn't remember in the morning.
Just quirky.
Yeah. You'll never have an alibi for a murder because you'll just go, you have a history of not remembering things. But Nick, just to his credit, sent us pictures from his wife, Brittany, that she sent from last evening. Now, Nick, I need you on a microphone. Nick, it looks to me, your wife, Brittany, says last night's feast, and she calls you Bubba.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
And then it looks like a used rubber, so I was like, oh, Nicholas, getting fresh and still wearing rubbers now that he has 2 kids. but it wasn't. That looks like a string cheese wrapper, and you had at hot dog buns as well, correct?
I had one hot dog bun and two things of string cheese.
Okay, so you had one hot dog bun. And now, do you ever eat hot dog buns when you're not asleep?
Well, he would microwave the hot dog bun.
I have in the past.
You said as a kid, though. Like, do you
But recently,
now as an adult?
I think in the last month, I think there wasn't a lot of things in the house, and I was like, I'm really, really hungry, so I'll just pop
You're like my dad. If like the rare occasions my mom would be out of town, my dad would just open up the refrigerator and eat raw hot dogs. He would just pick up a thing of like liverwurst, like it's in that like a smoked sausage kind of thing. And he would just like gnaw it in front of the refrigerator.
Oh man.
Yeah, he was super gross.
Man.
But so you did it again last night. Did she tell you how long you were awake for, or how long you were sleepwalking for?
No, she was asleep.
Okay,
she was asleep. This was around. I don't even. I think she went to bed around 11, so it was after 11.
On Amazon, and this would just be for you. I don't even have to see it. On Amazon, they sell really cheap cameras that like blink cameras that they can be activated by motion. I think they're like literally like $40. They can be activated by motion, and it would at least let you see what you're doing. That's never even been a curiosity of yours, to see what it looks like while you, yourself, the only you in the world, is walking around doing things you don't know that you're doing.
I thought it was just a thing I did, and I didn't think it was a big deal.
Well, do you have any curiosity? Well, it's not like, a nuclear war.
Right.
But I mean, it's as far as things that could be happening to you as an individual, I would find it a little concerning.
Yes, it has me.
But beyond being concerned, being curious, like, don't you want to see yourself doing it?
I don't want to be doing it anymore.
Okay, I know, Nick, but you are doing it. So don't you at least want to see what you're doing?
Yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
How many years have you been doing this?
For a while, yeah.
Years.
For years, yeah.
Okay, forget it, man. You're so lucky. You're so lucky to have that brain, because I would be out of my mind worried. I would be fixated on it, and then I would want to know what the hell I was doing. I would have had 17 cameras in there.
If you want me to go buy one of those cameras,
no, that's not the point.
He wants to. He wants
that's not the point.
He wants to be you. He wants to be so carefree and blissfully
ignorant.
I would say accepting of himself, that he could treat this the way you're treating this. Like that he could treat everything in his life the way you're treating this.
Yeah, it's just there's not even like that little bit of curiosity. It's just like I'm getting up and eating. Sure. Doesn't hurt.
There were I can't tell. It's like one of those online optical illusions. I can't tell if there are 3 or 4 buns left in the package. Do you know how many there were before you went to bed last night?
That was a new pack. We bought it 2 days ago. I think there was an 8-pack of hot dog buns. There might be 5.
So you ate 3 last night?
No, and I did. I think I ate 1, maybe 2, but I think it's 1.
All right. Well, it seems...
And the string cheese, which you apparently ate on the couch. Yeah. Because the wrapper is underneath the couch.
It, yes.
I slept on the couch for a couple of hours. My hip is, for some weird reason, is killing me. So I couldn't really like...
Perhaps maybe you hit it on something when you were walking around without remembering it.
Try to negotiate the stairs. Maybe you fell on it.
That's actually a great point. It could be.
Okay. Have you ever woken up with like a stubbed toe or like a small scratch or cut that you didn't remember?
No.
Okay. Have you ever woken up? Well, you've obviously woken up with like a pain that you don't know how you got the pain.
Yeah, but I just assume it was just the way I was sleeping.
It's from jiu-jitsu, when your jiu-jitsu training.
It was Muay Thai.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, very good. All right, Nick. Well, we look forward to it. You mailed out the fart monitor with Adolfo, I
did
assume?
yesterday, so he should be getting that soon.
And a happy coincidence with the new Thuppet video out there relating to this very subject.
Would you like to make the announcement now, or should we wait until we get back?
Yeah, we can do it afterward.
All right. We'll be right back.